whenever you're ready, Freddie.
Hey, listen, I was born ready.
Were you born ready?
Hey guys, it's Ron Bass with another edition of the Ron Bass Show. It's your source for inspiration, encouragement, motivation, and dry humor. Mr. Brent Atterbury.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. It's not as hot today as it was last week.
No.
We had a heat wave last week.
It was, I think, I almost caught on fire, it felt like.
You know, there's people that do catch on fire. It's like a, what do they call that? Some kind
spontaneous combustion.
Yeah. How the heck does that happen?
Too much hot sauce.
Can you imagine, though, like the poor victims, what in the world would be going through your mind? Can you imagine, like, all of a sudden you're just on fire? That's crazy.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Wow. And we think we're having a bad day. Can you imagine?
No.
But you know what it proves?
What?
Anything can happen at any minute, at any time, anywhere, any place. I don't think you can ever completely mentally prepare yourself for that kind of trauma.
No.
But at the same time, I think the more you struggle in life, the more likely you are to desensitize to things that are not comfortable. We talk about that a lot, right? I don't know about desensitizing to that.
No.
But I think, you know, every day I say to myself, nothing surprises me. And I think the more you say that, the more likely you are to probably feel like that when something really crazy happens. And it just doesn't surprise me when things could go crazy. Today I saw on the news in a fort in the United, I think it's called Fort Stewart, United States Army base, I think. Somebody went in there and started shooting up. And, you know, 5 people were injured. I don't know if anybody was killed, and they apprehended the shooter. What in the world goes through that guy's mind?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's got to be either some kind of crazy amount of anger or some kind of severe mental illness, because nobody in their right frame of mind is just going to go in somewhere and start shooting people.
No.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Maybe they're high, maybe they're mentally ill, maybe they're just like angry to the point of, I don't care if I die, I'm going to take some people out with me. I'm kind of guessing those might be the 3 or 4 top reasons why people would do things like that. But look, you could be the victim, and that's worse than the shooter, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And who knows who they're going to, like in New York City, I saw an article, a few weeks ago or a few days ago, where a former football player goes into the building in downtown in Manhattan and just starts shooting up the place and kills, I think, a top executive there and injured a cop maybe. And what was he upset about? I haven't heard any more about him. But obviously he's holding a grudge against somebody, somewhere, somehow, some way. And I'm going to get even, I'm guessing, was kind of what was going on there.
Yeah.
But to throw your life away, it's crazy.
It's terrible.
It is terrible.
It's wrong.
It is wrong. But people do wrong things. But here's somebody that did a right thing. I know I talked about this in another podcast.
Great.
The guy that's the lead singer of Kiss, Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
I saw this article again, and I think it's worth repeating again. So when he was a little boy, he lived in Israel, him and his mother and father, and he talked about there was a hole in the ceiling, literally, where water would come through. They never had hot food. They didn't have the toilet. Everything was an outhouse. And that was his life, you know. His father was a soldier, and they didn't even have a car. The soldier would hitchhike to the front lines and come back in at the end of the week or whatever his tour was, and would get like a ride back. One day he said he got a package in the mail, and I guess it was a USO package or whatever the philanthropic organization was, sent the family a can of peaches, which he'd never seen before. Think about that. And a sweater. So his mom took a rock to open up the can, or at least tried to, and he never will forget tasting the syrup as he emptied the can into his mouth. I don't even know if they got to the peaches, but the syrup, he said, he can still today, and he's in his 80s, late 70s, can still today, he says, remember the taste of the syrup. Had never tasted anything, and he was probably 8 or 9 years old at that time.
Wow.
The sweater had holes in it, but you know what? He'd never seen anything like that. Put the sweater on, because the nights get cold. Well, bottom line is he said, you know what, if I ever become successful, I'm going to make sure I return the favor to as many people as I can. So his mother wanted him to become a rabbi. But instead of doing that, he got into the music. I'm not sure all the details, but he eventually, of course, became very wealthy, very successful. He's also involved in many businesses. And he personally now sponsors, I think he said, 1,500 children around the world, himself with his own money, to make sure that they have education, food, clothing, education, et cetera, et cetera. That was his, how he wanted to return the favor back to the marketplace, back to the world. So I just think stories like that are super cool. Another similar story to that, a lady was in, is it called Chipotle's? Is that the Mexican place?
Yes.
So she was in there and noticed that a young lady who looked kind of tattered and torn was asking, how much is this and how much is that? And only wound up getting a very small item. And the lady was standing in line listening and watching, and it just bothered her so much. When she left, she went to her car, she thought about it, she went back inside, and she said to the people at the counter, like, what did she order? And it was something like a small bowl of rice or something. And she went and got the lady who was sitting there, you could tell, forlorn. And she says, ma'am, whatever you want, I'm going to pay for it. And, this lady said, no. She said, I insist, I want to do this for you. Of course, the moral of the story is how often that we overlook other people's struggles because we have our own. And I get it, there's a lot of people in the world that are struggling right now and a lot of homeless people and so forth and so on. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to take a minute, take a deep breath, and think about how lucky we are, and can we give some assistance to somebody else? I'm not saying we can do it with everybody every day all the time, but sometimes when we have a little extra money, a little extra time, lend a hand. I think that's super important. And this lady was filming herself, it was on TikTok, and she was crying because she just felt so compelled and so emotional about this whole process. So I say that to say this, guys. Think about that. There's an old Jewish saying, we always talk about it, to help one person is as if to have helped the whole world. To save one person's life is as if to save the whole world. So do something nice for somebody someday. And you know what? Maybe you're going to get screwed around. I get it. I've been there, done that lots of times. But if it just helps one person every once in a while, man, that's a powerful thing. And you never know who that person is. Yeah. Where they might go in their life and how they might become successful. So that brings me to another story.
Boy,
I'm full of stories today.
Yeah, you are.
I know. So I have a student. I have a student in my martial arts school, right? I think a lot of this young man because he's autistic, and he's been training now about 2 years. I think I might have mentioned it before. Make a long story short, he's about 30 years old, and his maturity is probably 15 years old. I mean, he's got issues, but great, nicest guy, very strong, great athlete, and he's stuck with martial arts. He's on the verge of getting his first major promotion, which won't be too much longer. And it's a great accomplishment because this guy, nobody would give him the time of day in the beginning. Like, oh, this guy, he's got problems. He's too difficult to be around. He's this, he's that, whatever. But I always say to myself, you know what, if a guy will stick with the program, I don't care if it's martial arts or whatever your goal is, and you don't give up and you stay with it, it's worth the time and energy to help that person. And so a couple of nights ago we were talking, and I could see the last few weeks he's more and more determined than I've ever seen him to improve his life, because he drops hints about different things that make me think, I think this guy is kind of getting it, like trying to figure out what he can do to improve his life, make his life even better. So we got to talk about smoking cigarettes and marijuana, which we've talked a lot about on the podcast, right? And the more I talked with him about quitting, I could see his eyes getting bigger and bigger, and he came close to me, and I could tell he wanted to hear what I had to say, and I shared my experiences with him, how I quit pills and drugs and smoking cigarettes. And we got into this dissertation. I got into this long dissertation, and I got pretty emotional with him, and he was hanging on every word, man. It was crazy. And I thought, man, maybe, I'm getting through to the guy, right? I was hoping. And because there's a lot of disappointments that go along with mentorship, right? A lot of times you try to help people, and what happens? Oh man, it's like, oh, they didn't listen, they didn't. It's so disappointing, and you just want to give up, but you can't give up. At any rate, the next day he came in to the gym. He showed up at a time that he normally doesn't show up, and I thought, wow. And he says, man, Ron, I haven't smoked today. I haven't smoked marijuana either. I said, hey man, you know what? I'm so excited for you, and even if you relapse, try again. If you relapse, try again, try again, try again, try again, try again. I didn't quit smoking the first time. It took me a few times, and it's okay. So don't beat yourself up. Just make it a point to keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And he was walking around the gym, telling other people in the gym, Ron and I had this great conversation, and I'm not going to smoke anymore, and I'm not going to smoke marijuana anymore, and I feel so much better. And I just thought that was super cool, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, even if he relapses, you know what? It's still worth it to know that he's taking it serious.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'll stay quit or not, but even if he doesn't, it's still worth the idea that now he's very alert and aware of the process. He can't let that go now. If he doesn't quit, it's on him. He's lit up now. He knows what's right from wrong, and he's taking it serious. So I think we're going to see something really positive come out of that.
Great.
At any rate, so I wanted to share that with everybody. Let's see what else is going on. Those are all the stories I had for today. How about some breaking news?
Well, this is a little different than we normally talk about, but we always talk about how we don't want our podcasts to be too long because we want the audience to listen, stay engaged, and not get bored with it.
Yes.
Did you know the longest podcast ever in history, in the world, recorded is 153 hours, roughly 6.5 days, by it was a team of Dutch podcasters.
What was that all about?
I didn't listen to it because it's 153 hours long.
Yikes.
But the previous record was in 22. It was 53 hours, so they blew by that record by 100 hours.
That's bizarre.
So
I assume it was just to break a record.
I think so, probably.
Content.
Probably. Yeah. It was uninterrupted. I don't know how you do that for 6.5 days.
Man, I don't know how you do it either. That's wild.
Also, on a positive note, today is National Root Beer Float Day. Do you like root beer floats?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Today is the day.
Today's the day.
Go celebrate.
I like it.
And then it's also National Fresh Breath Day.
Now that's a subject I like talking about.
Yeah, because, I mean, in sales or presentation or trying to visit with someone, and if you've got bad breath, they're out.
So
they're out.
So speaking of bad breath, I learned years ago, people don't do it, but you should brush your tongue. So every time when I brush my teeth, I brush my tongue. And also it's very important when you go to the dentist at least once in a while. I go every 3 months. I've done it for many years. I think dental health mouth health is just so critical. Not just for bad breath, but also for just good health in general and presentation. You don't want to have a bunch of ugly teeth. You want to have a nice smile, however you can make that happen. If you have enough money, you can have a brilliant smile and have all caps, which of course is what a lot of people do. They have a lot of money, but the average guy is just going to have to take care of his teeth. And when you get old, it gets tougher too. So you have to really, 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 really brush your teeth, wash your teeth every day, brush your tongue, very important. And you will find that your mate will be much happier with you because you will have better breath and they will want to kiss you more often, hang out with you more often, and be closer to you more often. So, just saying. Oh, my goodness. Another quick story. Howard Stern, he's been around forever and ever doing radio. Started off, I think, in New York City with not a podcast, but back in those days, kind of like a podcast. People would call in and they'd have conversation. And, of course, he's been on the Sirius network now for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Got a heck of a deal, making gazillions of dollars a year back in the day when that was first starting. It's all subscription, right? You have to pay money to have Sirius Radio, right?
Right.
So that's how they were able, and they went public, so they had money. Well, they canceled his contract. I think next year is his last year. And the conversations are like, why are they doing that, this and that? Of course, it's always generally about money. Oh, yeah, the show costs more than the revenue, et cetera, et cetera. Have you heard anything about this?
No, but I just know that if listenership or viewership falls, the company that manages that, the networks, Sirius XM, is going to say, look, how we pay you is advertiser revenue driven, and the less subscribers you have, the less ad revenue we can generate to pay you. So also in that industry, it's entertainment, and at some point, it's not. What's the next thing? What's the next?
He had a pretty good run. 20 years, pretty good.
He really did. Not saying that he's still not interesting.
Well, I'm sure he'll find a source.
He will.
He'll do his own thing. He'll do something. What's
the
lady that was on Fox that got let go that has her own podcast? Megyn Kelly. She's got her own company now, her own production company on YouTube. She just has her own show.
He may do the same thing.
Why not?
And he could get
He's
advertisers.
got plenty of money. It's not
he could get advertisers too.
Oh yeah. It's not about money for him anymore.
Yeah.
It's about, that's his craft.
Yeah.
It's like this, what we do the podcast. It's not about money. It's our craft.
Yeah.
Speaking of craft, I really like Kraft cream cheese.
Okay.
That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Well, and to those out there that don't know what that is, it's Kraft, a brand.
It's a brand called Kraft Heinz. Heard of Heinz ketchup. Anyway, Kraft makes the best cream cheese. You put that on crackers, oh man. Or on a bagel, oh man. Put a little lox on there, oh wow.
Sounds pretty cheesy.
Huh?
Sounds pretty cheesy.
Yes. It's pretty cheesy. Who's the other guy, late night TV? They just canceled him on CBS, the late night show with Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
Canceled him too, so another tragedy in the entertainment world. But I say all that to say this, guys. Ain't nothing perfect. I don't care who you are, where you're at, how much money, how successful, how many fans, how much whatever. You're going to have disappointments. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have days that it's like,
change.
How could that happen to me? The key is always be ready to change up,
pivot,
reinvent yourself, which is I've had to do it a million times. I reinvent myself every day. One of my students the other night says, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? I said, I make a list every day of everything I don't like that's going on in my world. And I literally list everything I'm not comfortable with. And by the time I get to the bottom of the list, I'm running out of things to write. And there's probably some more I could write, but I've learned if I start at the top, what's bugging me the most, or bothering me, then I get to the I get enough on there that I've got plenty to not worry about. I have plenty to deal with every day. And I write it down every day because things change every day. Maybe I solve this issue. Maybe another issue comes along. So it's a never-ending process of trying to improve yourself, your life, your circumstances. It's okay, man. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. We have to find a reason to get up every day. We have to find purpose in life. And you're going to figure it out, man. You're going to figure out what it is about you that you can excel in that's natural. And I would encourage everybody to kind of run with that first. And then after you've kind of honed that craft, okay, now you have ambition, more ambitions, bring on some new goals and learn new trades. Just like I got in martial arts late in my life, and I've been doing it over 10 years. It's like, what did I do? But it's cool because it's something new to learn, get involved in. It's a whole new experience. Isn't that what life's supposed to be about, guys? Experience, learning, finding out what you can do, testing your mettle. Okay, I could go on and on. I'm going to shut up now. We're going to get out of here. Any final words, sir? Any words of wisdom as we close out?
Brush your teeth and tongue and you might get more kisses.
I think that's a good way to end the show. Okay, guys, here it is. If you don't give up, just remember, eventually, the stars are going to line up. I don't know when, I don't know how quick, I don't know what's going to make that happen, but I promise you, if you don't quit, don't give up on your goals, sooner or later, that's going to happen. It may not be 100%, But I promise you, you're going to have progress. And you can take progress, you can sink your teeth into progress. And then you can go a little bit further and you can run with it, right? And you set another goal and another goal. And that's just the way it's going to be. So until that time, and even after that time, keep your chin up, keep your head up, and always just remember to stay positive.